All right. It's so hard not to act like a fan right now. Honestly, I want to act like a fan, but as somebody who's been doing this for 11 years, I try not to bring the fan of me in more than the reviewer because it's easy to get skewed. It's easy to say, well, as a fan, of course you're gonna act like this, or a reviewer, you need to act like this, and it's so hard. Now, many are gonna say, dude, you're angry? Yeah, I'm a bit angry. Now, I want to make this clear. Seeing they went to Europe, the UK invasion, great. It's good to see it. It's good to see they went back after 8 years. But I'm not going to tell you that this was good. It wasn't. I'm sorry. I wanted to say it earlier. I actually tried 3 times before this to record. And as I was trying to start to talk about the show, and I had to explain why, each time, why this wasn't right, it got me more and more pissed off. I got more and more angry. And I had to say, is this the fan in me? Or is this the reviewer who's saying, what did you actually produce? Because, and I'm going to tell you what they did. And it's not going to take me long either. Because what we saw was very little. I'm telling you right now. You're telling me they went across 2 or 3 days in Europe. And they're going to be doing Turning Point before they head back to Chicago Thursday. Because as far as I heard them say at the end of this video, show, they will be back in Chicago this Thursday. And I'm going like, where is the content that's going to be here for the next couple of weeks? Why are we not watching all of it? Because when you see what they just produced here, I'm sure many are going to say, wait a minute. They said they're doing UK Invasion, but the opening of it said they only showed a small snippet of it, exclusive. What are they talking about? They literally condensed this down into one show. A 2 or 3 day tour in Europe, in Glasgow, Scotland, and I can't remember the other place, where I think they are right now, where they're going to be doing Turning Point. Are you honestly telling me they condensed this all down into one show? And worse, you're not going to put it... No, I'm going to stop right there. I will give what I mean about that at the end of this review if I don't forget and blow up and get angry. Let's start. The finals of the Glasgow Cup, or the Glasgow Cup tournament, which we only saw the finals, which was Joe Hendley versus Kaz. And Joe talked to his people because he is Scottish. He talked to his people, said, I am so happy to be here, and I'm glad that Impact is here, and this is Impact, and I am the greatest motivator, and I can't wait to win this thing because this is something special to me. Good match. It wasn't one of the greatest matches, but it was a good match. But one of the problems they had throughout the night, I believe it is ICW. And they're the ones who lent out the cameramen, if they were cameramen. Because as you know, what Impact tends to do instead of what they should be doing, they don't bring their entire crew with them. What do? They hire or ask other promotions, could we borrow your cameramen because we did not bring them with us? And again, Impact has done the same thing as notoriously as the lighting being bad or the audio being bad. They use cameramen from another promotion instead of their own to get the work done. And throughout the night, or this show that we just saw, you can see that it's not that good. It's not. The camera work was not very good. Most of the time, the cameramen were like this, if they even aimed the camera correctly. And I'm not going to tell you that whoever tried to edit everything together didn't try their hardest to make it look good. They did. So at least I will say that's not a bad thing. But I'm telling you right now, again, they've done something foolish. They should have brought their own cameramen, even if it cost them an extra couple of $100, to film it correctly. If they're the ones who does it the best, they should be doing it. Not letting another promotion's cameraman do the work for them. Joe Hendley won. It was a bit of a surprise. He was happy. There you go. Next match, which was the Subculture versus the greatest professional wrestling god virtuosos. Virtuous. Deonna Purrazzo, Moose, Brian Myers, against Subculture, which had Webster, Andrews, and the best person of Subculture, Danny Luna. I'm going to make this clear. This was an intergender 6-person tag. Anybody can tag anybody in. Anybody can go up against a full guy, can go up against a small woman. There was no problem with it. The one who was doing all the heavy lifting between the two women, between Deonna Purrazzo and Danny Luna, was Danny. Danny was going up against Moose. Danny went up against Myers. He did that. She did that. And I got to tell you this, between Webster, Andrews, and Luna, you know who's the most charismatic? Luna. Luna is the most charismatic person there. She gives off the most amount of emotion, the most amount of interest. And literally, and we're going to see this at Turning Point, a early version of what a Jordynne Grace is. Now, like I said, we are going to get Danny Luna versus Jordynne Grace. You're going to see an early version of Jordynne Grace against the current version of Jordynne Grace. I cannot wait to see it. And I'm not going to tell you who won because I don't want to think about it. I always said, if you guys have seen my videos before on Impact, whenever Subculture was there, Danny Luna is an early version of Jordynne Grace. When she came into the company years ago, this is what Jordynne Grace looked like. Literally. And I never said Jordynne was a fat, ugly woman. She was solid. She was built literally what Danny Luna is built like. And it's going to be a stark contrast when people see them together. They're going to say, Danny Luna looks like she is previously what Jordynne Grace was. And to be honest, sometimes I miss Jordynne Grace as she once was. She wasn't fat. She was a beautiful woman that was a power lifter. And a strong-ass power lifter at that. That's the reason why she has several records in Georgia. I think she's got a state championship as a record in powerlifting. That woman can work her ass off and lift. It's the reason why she was able to lift Bully Ray off the ground. Did a Grace driver. He didn't just do that. She did it herself. He may have jumped up, but she flipped his ass over and did it. So I can't wait to see it. But you know who is going to win. The greatest professional wrestling virtuosos. I'm messing it up. I don't care. It's cool. There's nothing wrong with it. Because you already gave Joe Hendry the win with the Glasgow Cup. You had to let the others win against Subculture, who's not usually there anyway. The match that when I saw this, I'm going like, oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to see Grado. I know not everyone likes Grado. There's a lot of people that hated, that Slag Daddy hated Grado, I believe. At least certain points, he couldn't stand him. Other times, he thought it was stupid. And then he kind of came around to him. And I think he doesn't care about him at all now. But I did like Grado. I loved his music. I'm telling you, if you've never heard Grado's theme song, go look it up on YouTube. It's there. I love it. But there was no intro. No intro for Trey and no intro for Grado. Nothing. Just like what happened with, you did get the Virtuoso, you got Moose, you got Myers, and Subculture having their intros. You did not get an intro for Joe. Did Joe Hendry get an intro? I don't think he did. Kaz did, but Joe Hendry, I don't think, didn't get one. He came out right when they were showing him walking out. So not everyone got an intro. Got the theme music played. So I was hoping he would play it coming out and play it when, he won. And I know that everyone's going to like Grado. I know. Look, if you love a Johnny Swinger, you'll love Grado. He's not much different. He's just a Scottish version of Johnny Swinger. That's right. I'm the Scottish version of Johnny Swinger. I'm sorry. But that's pretty much what he is. And most of that match, you see why Grado is loved by so many people. He's a comedic wrestler, just like Johnny Swinger is. In some cases, not cases, Case is, he's better in some, not every. And I know you heard me, my friend. I know you love Johnny Swinger. If you were a female, not saying you are, but if you were a female, I truly believe if he was there in front of you, ask him to marry you. If you're a woman. If, I'm not saying you are. But you love yourself, Johnny Swinger. He always makes you laugh. And I'm happy for you. But I'm going to be honest. If you're going to look at Johnny versus Grado, and I've seen Grado more than I've seen Johnny Swinger. Because Johnny, when did he come in? 2018 or 19? I've seen Grado more. So I remember Grado could be extremely comedic. And I like him. I'm not saying he's more than Johnny and don't like Johnny Swinger. And yeah. But here, it was funny. Now, if someone's thinking, why not have a Kavorkic or the Kavorkia of the most greatest match in history, Grado versus Johnny Swinger? I'm not going to tell you that wouldn't be interesting. Two comedic wrestlers going up against each other. It would be ridiculously stupid, and we probably would love it, counting if you're into that. But he won. He got his music played, and it was cool. But this is like they're jumping around throughout whatever they did in Scotland. Because that's what it was. We still didn't see what happened in the Glasgow Cup. We didn't see Rick Swann wrestle. We only saw maybe where they showed a few seconds of it. They showed what? I believe it was Kaz going up against, who was it? Rhino, and beating him to get in there. And that's not even talking. It couldn't be more than just that. We didn't see none of it. Now, we did also see Trinity going against Evanston James. I think that's her name. And we didn't see James's intro. I don't think she had one. But we did see Trin. And let me give it to you like this. I know for Trinity, she loved this. If anybody says, well, James wasn't that great of a wrestler, Trin didn't even have to work. I mean, she was a little sloppy, yes. And Trinity's been sloppy on herself as well. She has been. But I can tell you now, and this is just my humble opinion, Trinity is having so much fun in the ring. Yes, she's still got to do her job. She is a wrestler. But when I see how she acts going into the ring compared to WWE, there's a vast difference in her mannerisms and how she handles herself. She's literally having fun. And I didn't see that for years when it came to Trin. Even when she became Feel the Glow Naomi. I haven't seen her have this much fun in years. That means what's going on in Impact and what they showed behind the scenes, because she did win. We know she won. She wasn't going to lose to James. She literally is happy. If anyone doesn't understand this, I've heard some people say that CM Punk will go to WWE. There's no one that can afford him. And that's true. But as I said before, like when it came to Trinity, when she was in WWE as Naomi, and I've said it more than a few times over the years when I did my reviews, she needs to leave and go somewhere where she can be happy. And she's happy here. She doesn't make the same money as she did in WWE. There's no way she did. There's no way she's paid the same amount in WWE there in Impact. It's just not happening. But she's legitimately happy. And if CM Punk decides, you know what? Fuck WWE. Fuck AEW. I'm not going to do it. As I said in my video about him, my Gump report, he may go independent because he's got to have enough money to live on. Tony Khan gave him a huge amount of money. So did he have some money saved from WWE. But he could go to Impact as well. They don't even need to pay him very large amount of money. Or NWA for that matter. He may not want money. He just wants to wrestle because he loves it again. Just saying. Not saying it's true, but you know what I mean. Final match. Eli and Josh versus Motor City Machine Guns. Nothing on the line. It's just to go off, well, 3 true legends of the company and 1 potential legend. Potential. He has not been there 15 or 20 years. He's only been there since the mid-2010s. Sorry. Matthew Winwall, I'm sorry, Tom. I'm sorry. He is not a legend. Has he done things in the company that very few have done? Yes, but as a legend now, nope. He ain't. So you had 3 legends and originals of TNA. That was cool. With Josh Alexander, who has been the staple of the company until Alex Shelley got the title. So it was an alright match. It wasn't bad. But this was the first time Josh and Eric Young had been together. EY, they've never teamed together. At least not in Impact Wrestling. Never did. Now, outside that, maybe Independence, who knows? I don't know. But it never did. So it was not a bad match. And in the end, I'm not surprised Motor City Machine Guns won. There was no way you're going to let Josh or EY win against Motor City Machine Guns. There's no way. There's no way. So they won. And then they showed a little bit of footage that's going to be from Turning Point and Hard to Kill. And that was it. And they said Final Resolution will be the last time they'll use the Impact branding. So I will be probably watching it. But let me make this clear. Was this a good show? It was okay. We did get a little bit of talk from a Will Ospreay. We did see a little bit from Eddie Edwards. And that will be, I believe, at Turning Point. I believe they're going to have that match. I don't think it's Final Resolution. I think it's Turning Point. So we will be seeing that. They did do video packages. They did behind the scenes, which I did find to be very good. But let's make this clear. This was not great. And the worst thing, this is the worst out of it. Instead of breaking this up into weeks, guys, they could have broken this up into weeks. You know Impact does multiple tapings. Why didn't they just do the Glasgow Cup tournament and do it for like 1 or 2 weeks? This week, next week, and then they still could have had Turning Point where we're there, and they would state it was there. Everyone knows they tape. And then halfway through, going into December, you can have the regular tapings in Chicago that leads into Final Resolution on the 9th of December. What would have been the problem of letting us see the entire thing instead of saying it's exclusive and very few people were there could see it? And worse yet, this is what they could have done. This is what they should do, but they won't probably. If people want more of what happened in the UK invasion, which they should have shown in the entirety, put it on YouTube. They could have said, Matthew and Tom could have easily said, for if you wish to see the entire thing that is not shown, like the beginning of the Glasgow Cup tournament, we will be releasing it on Saturday after Turning Point. We will release all of what you did not see in this Impact. Give your fans a gift and not lock it behind a paywall. Just release it to all the fans so they'll know what happened in the UK invasion, because that's not a UK invasion. We didn't see the tournament and any other matches they had. We didn't see it. Maybe that might be the title. We didn't see it. I'm disappointed. No, we didn't see all of it. I'm disappointed. Maybe that's what I'm going to use as a title. But it's just me. I will be doing Turning Point tomorrow if there's no problem. I am skipping a SmackDown. I'm skipping Rampage, which I don't see. Peace.